Hey guys, LevelCap here. Today I've got some Battlefield 3 gameplay. We've got Battlefield 4 right around the corner. Now I've been working on my weapon mastery dog tags. I realized I had 4 left and I was going to have to basically do them all in one video to try and get them done before Battlefield 4 gets out. So I wanted to have my mastery tags on all primary weapons in the game, and the last 4 guns I had to do was the DAO-12, the USAS, the SAIGA 12K, and the MK3A1. Starting off, we have the DAO-12 semi-automatic shotgun. This weapon has a barrel magazine that is individually loaded, so I don't even know if you would call it, I guess it is a magazine, it's just not a detachable magazine. So you have to put the shells in a barrel fashion, which I guess allows you to hold a lot of rounds at once. You can actually have up to 12 shots at a time, but when you shoot them real fast, it takes a long time to reload. So you can spend a huge portion of your match, your gameplay here, just reloading this gun in between kills. And I like to run with that 44 Magnum. You'll see I'm using it with all the shotguns today because I really like having something powerful and accurate for long range engagements, and the shotguns certainly aren't that. Now, oddly enough, I decided to try and unlock most of these guns using flechette rounds instead of buckshot. I don't know if that was really the right choice. Buckshot does do considerably more damage in close quarters. Flechette tends to give you a little bit better damage at range, and I felt like I wanted to try and make these weapons a little bit more versatile. I know I can kill people in close quarters with flechette alright, so I decided why not give them a little bit more power at medium range. So that's what I'm using, and I'll let you know if I ever switch out of it. I believe I do use explosive rounds with the USAS at some point during this video. Now, the general strategies of using any shotguns is to try and get in close quarters. Seems like pretty common sense advice, but it's not always the easiest thing to do, especially since the average range engagement in Battlefield is pretty long range. I'd say medium range. So you gotta get up close and personal, hugging the walls, figuring out how to move up in cover and use it as best as possible. And check that out, get the explosive, getting the support kill. And in case you haven't noticed, we've actually moved on to the USAS-12, which I have to say I like way freaking better than the DAO-12. It's a magazine reloaded, fully automatic shotgun, and this thing is just easy to use in close quarters. You can just fire, hold down the fire button, reload the magazine. It's a very, very good shotgun. It used to be incredibly overpowered with explosive rounds. I don't know if anybody remembers those days in Battlefield 3 when you could equip an infrared sight on Metro with explosive rounds, and this thing would just splash damage people off of all surfaces. The suppression was so insane that they couldn't return any fire on you, and so this gun was just absolutely a nightmare on Metro. I saw everybody using it at a certain point during the game, and the devs just saw this and realized that they had to do something about it. So they made explosive rounds way, way worse, basically turning explosive rounds into something you never want to use on a semi-auto or full auto shotgun unless you're just flat out trolling. And guess what I'm doing here? I'm pretty much trolling these guys with explosive rounds, and I did get a few kill streaks with it. Ultimately, I found it to be incredibly difficult to use because the rounds travel so slowly through the air. You really have to lead your targets. And we know DICE is not without a sense of humor. This gun was so incredibly overpowered and annoying at one point in the game that they've decided to bring it back in Battlefield 4 as a pickup-only weapon, the USAS-12 with explosive rounds. It is kind of a funny little homage to the weapon, and we'll see if it is as annoying as it was in Battlefield 3 in Battlefield 4. And there we go, get my USAS Mastery dog tags running on Karg Island Team Deathmatch. Getting into these containers is a great way to get in close quarters and dominate your opponents. Now we're playing a Conquest Domination, which I think is honestly a little bit difficult depending on what kind of shotgun you have. And I'm using the MK3A1, which is really like tugging on me for my least favorite gun award. The PP19 is awful. I really don't like a lot of things about that gun, but the MK3A1 is just abysmal. And it's weird because, you know, it really doesn't perform that much differently than a lot of other semi-auto and full auto shotguns out there, except that its reload mechanism takes for freaking ever So no matter what, when you reload this gun, it's going to take a long time before you can shoot again, which is horrible in close quarter combat. I cannot tell you how many times I died during a reload, trying to get a reload off, switching a pistol because I couldn't finish my reload on my primary weapon. This gun just drives me crazy. How long a reload, you might be asking? It's 3.4 seconds on the short reload, 4.1 seconds on the long reload. This means that you can pretty much reload the M16A3 almost 2 times before you can reload this weapon once. It's just so hard to use in close quarters because of the longer reload mechanic. Now, combining the crappy reload speed, it also has one of the lowest pellet counts per shotgun shells in Battlefield 3. So each shell shoots a certain specific number of pellets depending on what kind of shotgun you pick. The MK3A1 shoots 8 pellets. Now, if each one of those pellets has the potential for, say, 18 damage if you're using buckshot, that's a pretty big difference if you're using a gun that can shoot 12 pellets per shot. So your damage potential with this weapon is pretty low compared to a lot of the other shotguns. The only one lower than this one is the USAS-12, but the USAS-12 shoots faster in terms of rate of fire than this, and it has a much faster reload. So I think it makes the USAS-12 a much more usable weapon than the MK3A1. And now that I finally got the mastery dog tags with this weapon, which took a while playing on close quarters, domination, all that stuff, even though it looks like I'm destroying people here, it was just so many times where I would go on a 3-person kill streak, have to do that reload, and I would never survive to make it through just one single reload with the MK3A1. That's how much I just freaking hate that gun. Now we got the SAIGA 12K, and this is probably my favorite of the 4 that I am talking about today. It's a semi-automatic shotgun. It shoots 9 pellets per shot, giving it a slightly higher damage potential than a lot of the other guns, although the DAO-12 also shoots 9 pellets per shot. But it has a magazine reload system, which just allows for such faster reloading in close quarters and the ability to keep the damage coming, which is very important in a map like No Shark Canals. Clocking in at 2.2 seconds for the short reload, and if you use extended mags, bumping this up to a potential of 11 shots at a time, this gun can dish out more damage faster than pretty much any other shotgun in the game based on the reload speed, rate of fire. You can just keep the damage coming non-stop, and you'll see right here in this close quarter kill streak that I'm just not really being slowed down. I can deal with people, I can reload real fast, and be ready to engage 1, 2, 3, even 4 people before I need to reload this weapon. And when I do need to do that reload, I've usually killed whoever is an immediate threat to me. So that's a really important thing that I feel is kind of a key factor in determining whether a gun is good or not. Can you deal with your immediate threats before you need to do your reload? And is your reload going to jeopardize your gameplay? Now we're seeing the return of many weapons in Battlefield 4. The SAIGA 12K is coming back. The USAS-12 is coming back as a pickup weapon. Luckily, I don't have to deal with the DAO-12 or the MK3A1 anymore in Battlefield 4. Sorry if you guys are a fan of that, but it's not making a return, at least into the vanilla game. It may make it in some sort of future expansion, but as far as I'm concerned, if DICE wants to focus their efforts on other areas of the game rather than making semi-auto and full auto shotguns, that is perfectly fine with me. Now, we're getting a lot of new, really interesting shotguns. The UTS-15, which is a pump-action shotgun that can hold 15 rounds, which is insane. We're getting the Hawk 12-gauge, which is a magazine-fed pump-action shotgun. I'm really looking forward to the new shotguns in Battlefield 4. I think it's going to offer more variety and just be a lot more fun in general. So as always, thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time. This is LevelCap, signing off.